Today I want to talk to you guys about a game that I haven't spoken about for quite some time. In fact, it was end of last year that I had a chance to do some coverage on it on the channel, and that is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That is the next From Software game coming out next month, and I am incredibly excited for it. It's one of those games that kind of in the past, it probably would have been something that fell on my backlog pile, not because I don't want to play it, but because it's one of those sort of games that drops in the sort of busy season around everything else that I cover on the channel. And if you guys follow, you'll know, big games like Anthem and Destiny and Division and Monster Hunter, they've always got stuff going on. So invariably, any of the kind of games that fall outside that spectrum, I have to try and sort of make time for. But this year, I'm like, I'm making time for this game because I am so excited for it. And I want to do videos on the channel. I want to bring you guys some coverage. I actually think I might stream it, and I'll speak to you guys about that a little bit later. But today I thought we'd just talk about why I'm excited for this game. So, if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, and if you haven't entered our giveaway for a chance to win a console of your choice, then click the link in the description box down below if you want to enter. Now, for those of you guys that haven't heard of the game, I'm pretty sure by now you would have, and we uploaded some gameplay last year when I went to Gamescom. I had a chance to go hands-on for the very first time, and I'll link that down below if you haven't seen it. But it's the next title from Software. It always sounds kind of funny when you say from Software. But anyway, besides the point, it's their next title, and of course, if you have been following them or you play in their games, you'll know that they are known for things like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, the Soulsborne series. And that reason alone is kind of enough to bring a lot of people into it. And it's kind of funny because I got into that series quite late. I have a friend who's like really big on the Dark Souls games, and he got me into Dark Souls 1. I tried to play it, and it just didn't click. So no matter how hard I tried, I was like, you know what? This game isn't for me. I put it down, I moved away, and I think I ignored Dark Souls 2. And then finally, when Dark Souls 3 came out, I was like, you know what? I really want to know why people like these games. So I went back in, and I was like, I'm gonna play through this. And then finally, I hit that moment of realization, and the game clicked. And I was like, this is awesome. Why has it taken me so long to finally get into this series? And then I was kicking myself for not having played Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, all that stuff like that. So anyway, point is, irrespective of how late it was, I finally got into that series, and I loved every moment of it. I streamed my entire playthrough. I still remember I died 145 times in my Dark Souls 3 playthrough, and I died 31 times to the Nameless King, but we got him in the end, and I streamed the whole thing. That was a lot of fun. So that was really cool because it actually kind of exposed me to this genre that I previously hadn't played. These kind of brutally hard, difficult games where you go out, you get beaten time and time again, but then finally when you do take out the boss, there is no better feeling. And that also then went on to kind of lead me to play games like Nioh, and I also then discovered the kind of roguelite genre and played games like Dead Cells and Hollow Knight and Enter the Gungeon. So essentially, finally discovering that I like Dark Souls and I like this genre basically opened up a whole new world for me, which was really cool. So with that in mind, naturally speaking, when they announced the next title, I was like, yo, I'm there. I'm there from day one. I'm not going to miss it this time. I really want to play it, and it looks a hell of a lot of fun. So what is it that I like the most about the game? Because it's actually quite different. If you've played any of the Soulsborne games and you followed the information for Sekiro, then you'll know that it is actually quite different. You don't have a character that you kind of create and spec in your own way like you would have done before. You don't just go out there, doing corpse runs, getting all of your points, spending them in like, strength or agility or dexterity or intelligence or anything like that. You have a slightly more fixed character. You play as the same character. You then earn your XP throughout the game as you are killing enemies, and if you die, you don't lose that XP. So you don't have that conventional run, that corpse run, where you go back and reclaim your stuff. But with that being said, there are different ways to spend those points. You spend them in skill trees, you upgrade your characters in different ways. You can still spec depending on the way you want to play. There are more aggressive playstyles that focus more on your prosthetic arm, playstyles that focus more on like stealth and mobility. So there's definitely options to play the game in different ways, but it's not in the conventional sense. So this is a big departure from what, From Software typically become known for. And part of that excites me because as somebody that got into the series quite late, it was actually kind of overwhelming to begin with when I was like, how should I be spending these points? What should I be doing? And the Monster Hunter player in me basically just put all my points into, I think it's agility or whatever it is that allowed me to roll so much, because as a Monster Hunter player, if there's danger, you learn to roll. That's how I've always played the game. That's how I play basically any game. If you can roll, that's how I'm getting out of the way. And for that reason, the other thing that excites me about Sekiro is the fact that it focuses on parrying. Now, if you guys know me, then parrying is probably my kryptonite in video games, right? I am terrible at parrying. Like, any of my friends will tell you, I couldn't parry to save my life, right? If there's a game where you can parry or you can shield, I will just shield because I'm like, you know what? If I mess up the timing, I'm dead. If I shield, I mean, it's fine, right? So again, also being a Monster Hunter player, I'm like, well, I'll just roll instead. So rolling, shielding, basically getting out of the way is what I do. And obviously the Soulsborne games in the past have focused around some kind of theme. So Dark Souls was quite defensive. You know, you can hide behind things. You can, I mean, parrying still exists, obviously, but you can hide behind your shield, you can take hits, and then you react. And Bloodborne was more about kind of getting out of the way, then dashing back in. And Sekiro is all about parrying. The gameplay focuses around a posture system whereby you parry your enemy attacks and you essentially play slightly more aggressively towards them to knock them off balance, to kind of build up this posture system, and then when you break the posture, you then exploit a weakness. So I feel like this game is going to teach me to parry. I'm either going to die so many times, in fact I'm going to die so many times anyway, but I'm either going to die hundreds of times or I'm going to learn to parry. So I'm going to use this game as Arekkz's Parrying 101 school. I'm going to learn, I'm going to complete the game, and it's going to make me better as a result. So I'm looking forward to the slight change of pace and the fact that it's going to kind of expose a weakness in my gaming skills, my gaming abilities, and hopefully I'll overcome that. So on top of that, I really like the more vertical style of combat and the fact that it's actually got a bigger, stronger focus on stealth. Obviously in some of the previous games, you know, you can go up behind an enemy if they haven't heard you and you can, you know, stab them in the back, but stealth plays a bigger part in this game. And I've always been a fan of stealth games. I play like Hitman games, and I've always really enjoyed like looking at the lay of the land, sitting there patiently, watching enemies moving around, working out how you can sneak through to try and like get in there and not be seen. So the fact that you can actually use that more extensively in Sekiro, then I'm actually really excited about the fact that I can, you know, maybe use that to take out some of the things that would otherwise normally give me trouble, and maybe kind of do a slightly more, I don't know, less aggressive playthrough. I'm basically going to try and stealth wherever I can and avoid getting into crazy big battles because, again, I can then probably lean more into what I'm better at doing in games. So the stealth aspect, really cool. The fact you got the grappling hook and the more vertical aspect of the actual gameplay means that you can kind of get up, you can look over the lay of the land, you can kind of see what's going on, you can plan your attacks before you dive in and maybe kind of walk around a corner and get hit by an enemy around a blind corner. I'm sure that's still going to happen, but, you know, it kind of hopefully avoids some of that. So combat, verticality, stealth, a few things on the kind of checkbox for me. The character progression system, the fact that it doesn't give me quite so many options means I'm probably going to have like a slightly more focused experience. I'm really looking forward to messing around with the actual prosthetic system. I had a chance to test out some of these when I was at Gamescom, but there's obviously so much more to it. You can spec more heavily into them, and some of those abilities, they start out in one form and they kind of reveal themselves later. So the shuriken, I've just used them before and they're quite simple, but then there's like a follow-up one where you can then throw them and then dash it afterwards. So there's a lot of options, you know, on how to kind of expand those. And like the axe, for example, you can combine it with the flames to get like a flaming axe. And also the fact that sometimes those prosthetics will then allow you to bypass otherwise annoying enemies. So enemies with shields will typically be quite troublesome, but then when you have like an axe, you can just cut through it and you're like, yeah, whatever. So that's going to be a really cool aspect to it. And obviously outside of that, it's just the setting. I mean, like, I like Japanese history and the kind of setting and the era and whatnot. So it's definitely going to be really interesting to sort of see how that plays out, because it's also, again, quite different to, you know, the Gothic or the Victorian eras of like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. So to sort of see this as a drastic kind of departure, again, is going to look really cool. So that's basically, at the moment, what I'm most looking forward to. But the other thing on top of that, though, that's actually quite nice, is that I'm kind of going into the game semi-blind. So if you guys know the coverage that we do on the channel, then you'll know that a lot of the time we present quite a lot of information for a lot of our core games, and as a result of that, it means that whenever a game is coming out, it's kind of my job to make sure that I know as much as possible. So I kind of go in, I read everything, I pay attention to all the trailers and break down absolutely everything. But one of the things I enjoyed so much when I played Dark Souls was because it was completely off my radar and I kind of missed the launch and I didn't play it until, you know, a little while after, I went in completely blind. And I'm kind of trying to do the same thing with Sekiro, in that I've watched a few things, watched some of the trailers, read a few of the kind of developer interviews, but I haven't gone too deep. So there's a lot of things that I still purposefully don't know about, and I kind of just want to go in and experience it firsthand. So it's actually quite refreshing for once to be able to sort of on the channel just go into something a little bit more blind, not trying to go in as an expert and just go in and have some fun and see how it goes. So hopefully you guys like the idea of that, because what I think I might do, I might try and stream the entire game, and then maybe what I'll do on top of that is then take those streams and cut them down into like edited episodes and upload it as like a playthrough on the channel. That could be some fun stuff to happen on the side. So if you guys like the sound of that, let me know. But otherwise, that's kind of it. So stay tuned. Obviously, as we get close to launch, I'll probably drop some more videos for the game on the channel. So if you want to stay tuned for that, then obviously Stick around, hit that notification button, then you won't miss any of our latest uploads. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch 269 and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here. But once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.